Here we go.
Storyline.
All right. What's up, guys? Welcome to the Sesh. Rob.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
So it's been a while. We've been super busy. When was the last time we did? November, December?
I don't know. It's been a while.
It's been a while. So we got busy, life and all that stuff. But we have two special guests, and I forget why this sparked it, but it was a social media comment or a post that I pushed out, and you talked about it. So what was it?
Hope isn't a plan.
Hope isn't a plan.
Oh, shit. Wow.
So
That's what.
my thing going back with that is like, fuck, today's generation, and I say this lightly, I'm going to say it to offend anybody, is there's a lot of people that aren't willing to put in the work. They lack motivation, or they have motivation, they just don't know how to do stuff. And when it comes to actually doing the stuff, they don't want to do it. So I think that's where it was from. It was like, hope is this. You can't hope for stuff. You can't sit on your couch and hope something's going to come. Life does not work like that. So that's what sparked it on.
Yeah.
So what did you have to say about that?
I mean, some people are intrinsically motivated. Some people just kind of have that. Other people need that spark. And I think that spark comes from, okay, what do I want out of life, right? Like, what do you guys want out of life? Like, what do you want to accomplish this year? And most people just run forward and they work hard and they hope to accomplish their dreams or what they want, but they don't actually have a clear vision of what that is. And the thing is, the problem with, that mentality is ultra goals are really created backwards. Like literally it's a math equation. So you have to add up all the things that you want. Right?
So give us an example. Like literally give us an example. This is how it ends, okay. And then reverse engineer it.
So say I want a $4 million house. Okay, I want to build a $4 million house in 2 years. Okay, I know I need $800,000 to put down on the house because it's 20%. That's what I want to build my dream home. Well, how am I going to do that? So I know that every month I have to put away $100,000, right, in a separate account, minus the $200,000 each year for my personal expenses. And I know that at the end of that, I'll have my $800,000 to put on the house. The problem is most people don't actually break down, on a granular level, what that's going to take. Now, what do I have to do differently to get there? I know that my company has to sell $25 million to be able to attain that goal. Now, what do I have to do to sell $25 million? I have to double my business that I currently have. How do I double my business? What do I have to do? How many leads do I have? What's my closing ratio? What is that going to look like? And what are the things I have to change in my business to get there? And most people don't actually break down those numbers, know those numbers. And when people wake up in the morning, they have no idea what they want to do.
But the thing is with what you're talking about is it takes a very expansive skill set.
It's reflection. Most people don't reflect on what they want and how they get there. Most people don't take the time to actually reflect on their goals.
So I would say that they'd have to build a bunch of different skills first to even entertain the idea that they have to go on this journey to make some big company.
Not always. No, because most business owners, they don't do the actual work themselves. They delegate those tasks for the things that they don't know how to do.
Which is very interesting because, Jerry, we were talking about that earlier, I think there's certain levels in entrepreneurship, and Brian maybe can chime in on this conversation. We were talking about where you started in the food trucks first.
Yeah.
And then you figured out how to do it, and then you multiplied it by however many.
Yeah, ish, and it's kind of like what we were just talking about, where you do delegate. Well, first you got to know where you want to go, right? And for me, I knew how far I could take myself being my own operator, right? Owner-operator in the box, in the truck. And I can convince myself that it was satisfying, right? Or convince myself, well, delegate this leadership position and see what else I can do working on my business, not in the business, right? And you see a different world, right? There's no way to be, because even though you're serving from the window, you can run into somebody impactful. Mm-hmm. You're not going to give them that same conversation as you would being outside, actually looking for that conversation instead of it surprising you, right?
Right.
So I felt that as we were able to kind of put people into more leadership roles within our trucks, I was able to kind of be outside and market just how capable we were as food truckers, right? Beyond just inside what we serve.
So your role became more of like a management.
A promoter of my brand. I was good at promoting other things that I never owned. Now that I got something that that was catching attention on its own, I can only amplify that little attention into better, right? I saw so much potential, and a lot of people that practice business every day in the industries that I'm in,
They just get
they
better.
were just telling me, you know what, dude, there's something good here. Just make sure that it's prepared this way in a sense of formalities, procedures, operations.
So was what happened to you, was it similar to what Brian is describing? Like, you had a plan, like you said, well, shit, I'm not hoping that this is going to get better. Like, I can see where I'm going.
I didn't have a plan. For me, it was just something that I could
Organic.
get away, and I had wheels, and I knew that if it wasn't going good, we could go. I was very scared. So basically, the wheels, me being in a food truck, was like a big old cushion. I don't encourage this, right?
Yeah.
But for me at the time, I was in a place that's all I had. I had very little hope. I was spent emotionally, and cooking was the only form of therapy. I mean, that I felt, well, at least I can kind of make some money, right? So that was it. And the island, I mean, I've always been inspired by things on the island. We see that as a place that you have any type of involvement in business, you should do well if you have the work ethic. So that's where I wanted to test myself and my capabilities with my concept. And, I took the plunge in there, and I mean, it's been challenging, but there's been growth every single year. We're going into our 5th year now, so we've created a very good system that, the Islands is promoting as well. We're on a lot of their commercials, which is very satisfying because I never thought that I'd even last 1 month. It was very, very hard.
So very little hope
Yeah, very little hope.
with a lot of work ethic,
Correct.
and too much hope and no work ethic, you're screwed no matter what. So the point is, it's worth it. Whether you know where you're going or not, you can't just hope shit into manifestation. You have to go work and
Save that energy to move your feet.
And also, I think on Brian is there's a point where you become the employee, and then you become the manager, then you become the overseer. Like, what are those levels that you see?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I notice regardless at what position you're in the business, I think as long as somebody has a clear vision of what their goal is, to make sure that they're meeting the criteria that you're asking of them. But you have to sit down with them. You have to get, I think the number one thing in business, if you have employees, you have to get them what they want so you can get what you want. But you have to have a clear, vision of that. And a lot of times they're not the type of people to think about, what kind of car do I want to get? They just think running forward is that's basically their plan. It's just running forward, working as hard as they can and hoping that they can attain that. But if you actually break it down and say, hey, this is how many sales you need. So, I pay my guys 10% of the sale. So I say, how much do you want to make at the end of the year? What do you want to make? What do you want to get your wife? What are your current bills? What do you want to invest? What do you want to put in retirement? How many years do you want till retirement? And then, okay, you have to sell, in the next 10 years, you have to sell $3 million to get here.
Yeah, that's also a seller's mentality, because not everybody can sell. You're working for a commission. You got to know how to fucking sell, and that's what I've been telling Rob. Is like, now we have a product, and I want to go back to square one and go back to selling, because that's how I started this whole social media stuff. I had to knock on doors and go to people and sell all this shit, and I hadn't done that in a long time. And I want to get back on the fucking ground. It's like, hey, meet people. I think that's the coolest thing, that one-on-one connection. That with that person, you can build that big enough, and then you just layer it on, and then you take a different role.
Yeah, so we tell we go to the guys and say, hey, what makes you tick? What makes you wake up in the morning? What motivates you? And actually having that raw, authentic conversation.
What's the number one thing that you always hear? Is it money?
They want to take care of their wife or their family.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to take
Money based.
I want to take my wife on a vacation. Okay,
It's
what does it
basically
cost?
money, right?
What do you feel that you need? Money is obviously the root of it. Obviously, that's what's going to pay for all.
Do
this.
you feel that money is a bad thing? And why? Because because it's a very interesting
you
taboo
have to
thing
answer
to
that
talk about.
answer
Well, the thing is, here
I'll tell you.
in
money's
the
a bad
valley,
thing.
it's different.
Money's a bad thing to not have.
Yes,
Yeah,
right.
I completely agree. It makes life easier, not better.
It's really
easier.
the intention of the person using it for the right reasons. So,
A bad mind is bad for money.
Yeah.
So, but it's very hard to have a bad mind and attain it. And if you got it, spend it. Do whatever you're gonna do, right? But For me, it was backwards because when I went into this, it wasn't with a business plan and a growth plan, especially, right? So for me, it was
You had no other choice.
Yeah, I had
Well, you
no
said
other
you wanted
choice.
1,000 trucks.
Oh, now I do. I want them all.
I want them all.
And now when I started,
But you had that vision in your mind. But did you
No.
say, no, okay, each year I know this is going to cost, I can reinvest
Yeah, he
this
did
much
a
money,
reverse
and
engineering.
buy another truck. Yeah, reverse engineering. That's how you
probably
attend.
after my second year when I was like, well, you know what? I think it's a business, right? Because it wasn't doing good. It wasn't doing anything. It was just doing enough to stay open, which at the time was good because every other business was not doing enough to either do that, right? So for me, I was like humbled really quick. And I think
This happened, what, during COVID?
during 2018 when I first started with the first food
Okay.
truck. So the whole lingo of just food trucking and stuff, you know. And then as I kind of got to create a system, at least of serving inside, because it was very
Chaotic.
a lot of wasted movements, right? There was no structure, right? That's all on me. I had to
speedy
be in
system?
there.
Didn't you
No
get
speedy system.
you got trained through McDonald's or something like that? Or what was it?
Now we did. We have my mentor was a bunch of McDonald's. So I mean, and you got to look for mentorship. I didn't start looking for people till 2019 when we got accepted into Formula One, and I was like, well, now if I open a conversation with, hey, we're Pineapple Ninjas, we're working F1. I mean,
Yeah.
you'll read on, right?
Yeah.
Whereas before, like, hey, we're a food truck from the island. That's
Right.
great, right? So this helped.
Status.
It did help a lot. And once we started being able to push that is how I really knocked beyond the door. We got in at face to face, and I asked, how can I be better, faster? We look at the Taco Palenques, we look at the Delias, what they've done in 35, 40 years. And I feel that with what we have now, it's attainable in 30, 40 months. Market research for us is cheap. It's only a couple of miles drive, where for them, they had to build full out brick and mortars. You know what I'm saying? And businesses that are producing at the level that they aren't going to come back down to food trucks. They won't see the value in it. And it's not for me to promote it to them. If they want to work together, it's awesome. But it's just not in your business plan anymore. You know, you just
Right.
you stick to what you know. And that's what I've learned from those guys too, as to why there's not McDonald's food trucks all over the spot and stuff. Because
And
you
you've
just stick to
taken
what-
and you've taken that to a different level where you're very choosy with who you're going to work with.
Yeah. I mean, to the point where I'd rather just do the work myself because I remember doing it for no money. Now you tell me that there's just more upside, and then people that'll recognize me from some of the things that, with the content on TV, it just adds to the experience. They tip really well. I'm not ashamed of getting behind the grill because I feel that I do a very good job of it. So anybody around me is going to learn a certain way to do something with less stress because of just how I did it so wrong in the beginning, right? It's like a
You
million
learn
ways
from
not
all
to
your
do it.
mistakes.
100%, and I'm very
There's
proud of
value
it.
in that. Yeah, there's a lot of value.
We're able to get people to be organized and be capable a lot faster than it took me. Just like I want to get to where these brands were in 30, 40 months. I want to train these guys 3-4 years of headaches in 30, 40 minutes. And it's possible because
Yeah.
just the vocabulary that we learn to use, the way that we teach the hands-on practice, you know, it just comes from successful brands that train teenagers. So now I have an adult who's ran kitchens, who has enthusiasm and joy to be here. The only thing that can let them down is just really themselves. I don't put the hardships on the internet. That's not going to make anyone be enticed to want to join my movement.
Right.
You know, I mean, there's food truckers and entrepreneurs out there that complain on the internet that make it look like it's misery to be an entrepreneur. Shut up.
Yeah.
You chose this
Dude,
life. You know how stupid
Interesting.
you look.
We chatted with Bill at Lowe's the other day. Bill is 80 years old,
Okay.
old white man, and I didn't want to get the key made in the machine, so I went to the guy, and he was like, "Here, I'll make it for you." And I started having conversations like
Yeah.
about AI and all that stuff, and then I started asking him for life advice.
Steal your key.
And I was like, "Hey, dude, give me the one thing from all your accumulative years alive." And he said he has only 8 years left to live. So I was like, well,
did say
"Give
that.
me your knowledge." And I was like, he said, "If you want success, do the damn work. Do the damn work. That's it."
See, that's running forward, though. I think, I truly think that, and you can probably say this, think about the most successful people.
I left out that Bill had made a $28 million business, right? That's what he said.
I think
Okay.
it's just an approach. You know,
And he's there just to stay busy.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't say it quite as the way Josh is saying it. He said that to attain wealth, do the job that you're hired to do correctly.
Yeah.
He said you got to do the work and you got to do it right every time, and that's it. It just takes hard work. But I do see what you're saying. It's just moving forward. There's no.
But there's the first thing is the goal. The first thing is having that clear and knowing what you have to do. The second thing that makes people super successful, it's not necessarily a goal. Most people don't even get past that, but it's micromanagement. But not other people.
Themselves.
It has kind of a negative connotation. It's yourself. People that are really good micromanagers of their self, ones that hold themselves accountable in a structured way, are the successful people.
So it's also optimizing your life, I would say, is a form of optimization.
How do you keep yourself accountable for your goals and your actions? How do you track it? What do you do? I use Asana. I use a tracker. I literally have, this is what I want to do today to get closer to my goal, and I put a time limit on it. And I check it off every single day, and every day I go back and I put another 15 things in
See,
there.
that lifestyle right there, I know exactly what you're talking about,
doing that for 15
but
years.
most people don't even know about that.
Right. But that's the thing, it's micromanaging yourself. If you think about your friends that are usually successful, or your best employees, they're really good at micromanaging themselves in a structured way.
So distill your Asana down, because for people who don't know what Asana is, it's technology that you log in, all that stuff, and it reminds you. So if you were to go down to the most basic of levels, how do you manage your life?
I mean, I put even my haircut in there. So anything that I need to
So you write down, you can write it on a piece of paper, your list, your
can.
to-do list.
But when you press on it, it like sends a little unicorn. Good job. And I appreciate that.
Yeah, I get you.
It makes you feel good when you're checking it off. It's
Pops
like,
the
Unicorns have
endorphins.
that effect.
Yeah, it pops the endorphins
yeah,
there.
so it's like a game, and it feels
Fuck,
good.
I've
when you-
never
when
done
you have
anything
Gamified.
everything
remotely
checked out.
close to that
But,
in
you know,
my life.
It's in your phone.
Until now.
If you have
Maybe.
something, you just go add, you type what it is, you click on the day and time, and it's time.
I thought he was meant like a sauna, like in a hot tub.
Like me
or
too.
whatever.
Like for a minute there, I was like, "Fuck you."
I got you, Brian. I know what you're talking about, man.
Shit.
You know, it's a very interesting thing, because I was talking about Chat GPT, and I was telling Rob that I made a business, a whole business
business
model for chickens and coops and chickens, coops and chickens,
Coops and chicken.
which is a service that services the whole Rio Grande Valley with chicken coops. We supply the chickens, we give them insurance, we also sell them feed on a subscription-based model, so they literally have to do nothing. So they have chickens in the backyard, four
They
of
go
them.
harvest their own eggs.
Harvest their own eggs every single day. It's something that people are, and I did that with ChatGPT. I wrote out the whole business plan, the cost of everything. I did it like in 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's a very good idea.
So the first thing that you would do is you'd go on your Asana, and you say, hey, I want to file for the name. Register
That
the
is
name.
already way too much information to people that are not tech-based.
No, and then you just make business cards, build website, and then you literally do that every single day. And then the next steps just come to your mind. Anything that's in your mind, you put it in there, and you hold yourself accountable to it every day. And you check off every
How do you hold yourself accountable?
because I don't end my day till I check it off.
You don't punish yourself, Brian?
Do you punish yourself? Because I do. Sometimes when I
No,
forget
I'm just
something, I'll do
anxious.
push-ups.
I will leave it on my list, and it will add to my tomorrow list.
And that becomes
And
anxious.
it bothers me that I don't get it done. I
Yeah.
don't feel accomplished unless I get those things done.
Do you think a lot of
Or I
people,
don't move a little bit closer towards getting it done.
do you think a lot of people think that way?
No, but that's the point of this, is you have to micromanage it.
So how can somebody get to that point?
He already told you, Asana.
Yeah.
No,
Use
son
a
is
test.
not.
Just use a test.
What's the foundation
Well,
of what
the
people have to
foundation-
have in their
but, like,
mentality?
The foundation
Yeah.
is the motivation.
Hey,
If you
Sid.
have motivation to get somewhere, but the problem is most people don't know what they have to do on a daily basis to get there. And so when you take, the macro level and you break it down into a micro level, and you're like, okay, these are the actions that I have to take. I have to talk to 10 more people a day. I have to go do, a networking events. I have to do much more of this.
It's
I have
planning,
to make,
yeah, planning and
an
development.
extra 20. I have to make 27 calls a day times 3 of my employees.
So you're saying I actually have to put work into this?
Yes, of course. Everything's work.
Fuck,
Everything's
man. That's why shit's not working
everything
for us,
is
man.
energy.
Because we just wanted to happen.
Everything is energy, and our energy is finite.
Manifestation.
Our
Yeah.
energy is finite, but we have to be smart about how we give that energy. But the problem is you can't remember everything. When I go back and look at that list, I'm like, I put that on there?
Yeah.
I remember. And then it gets me right back because it takes you like 20 minutes. When you get disturbed from somebody, you get a call and something's going on, you lose track in mind what you're actually trying to get done that day. When you go right to that list, you hop right back into it and you make the calls, and it's just a way to keep your mind
The
straight.
best life hack I've ever found is the counting backwards method. So when I don't want to do something, I just count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you have to fucking do it, dude. Like, it messes with your mind. Like, there's something inherently in you
But when
that
you
you
have-
have to do it when it goes down to 0.
When you have these external stressors, you get these phone calls or things, it throws you off. it clouds your memory, and you just can't possibly think of those little things. And when you have something to resort to keep your mind in place, like you can just start checking off again.
Dude,
it just drives the train.
All bullshit aside, I'm gonna look into it. I'm gonna try it because I've never been that structured. Like, to me, I guess growing up or whatever, I mean, we grew up literally on a fucking farm, man, and we had pigs and all kinds of shit. We knew what the fuck we had to do, you know. It was embedded.
But you had a
in us.
structure.
But there was a structure, and now today I don't, because now we're juggling fucking chainsaws and
That sounds
wives
fun.
and
Life.
kids and all
Yeah.
kinds of shit, and life itself is fucking
Yeah.
cumbersome. So we forget to go check off the to-do list a lot. It happens to me. So I'm glad that we actually did this, because I'm gonna try something now. Maybe it'll
So that's the exact answer I was looking for, is how to
Self-micromanagement.
reverse
self
engineer it.
micromanagement. I don't have any of that shit.
Most people don't.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
And
Real
the
talk, I
self
don't.
micromanagement has to equal your basically what you need to accomplish for your goals.
So then you reverse engineer what the goal is that you want to attain, whether it's an $8 million house or a harem of women or a yacht
Doesn't
or
matter
whatever
what
it is.
Reverse engineer. It's
Reverse
a math
engineer it all the way down to the minute detail
equation. How many
Detail.
calls do I have to
of
make?
what
Who
I
need
have to
speak
do on a daily basis to get there.
What did you tell me the other day
Wake up
that
in
I
the
have
morning,
to see it for it to
You're like,
happen?
hey, I have
Yes,
to.
I have to see it.
Yeah,
I
when
see
you-
it with Brian. If it's working, dude, it's obviously fucking working for you.
Hey, Brian's one of the luckiest motherfuckers in the world, man. Like, he says, it's gonna land on this. It's gonna land on this.
The
This
roulette-
is
the
gonna
roulette
happen.
king.
It's gonna happen.
I'm telling you, man. The other day, we're working out, and he put what I thought was a lot of weight on the bar, and he was like, "We're gonna start with this," and I was like, "All right, motherfucker. Well, you first." You know, like, all right. He said, "Well, why me first?" I said, "Because I have to see you do it before I can imagine myself doing it. You know, so you do it first." And sure enough, he did it, and we did it. We
Damn
got
right
through
I did it.
In that terms, I see if this is what's working for you, then you're a testament to what the results is what the
Like,
results
if you-
are
if-
when you.
Well, I mean, if you know where you're going, like, how much weight are you going after?
Well, now I'm
Boom, he
going back
just-
20 more pounds.
20 more
you know
pounds.
how to get there too, don't
Yeah.
you?
But what do you have to do each day incrementally to not hurt yourself to get there?
I have to eat 2,400 calories, 225 grams of protein, a few carbs, a few fats. I have to fast until how many hours? 19 yesterday.
19 hours, yeah.
So I fast. I'm getting to that goal with minimal muscle loss. So yes, I know exactly how I'm going to get
And
there.
because you know that, what Brian is saying is that's the reason you'll get there.
It is
couldn't just sit
meticulous
and hope for it.
as fuck.
Yeah.
No wonder nobody wants to do it.
Yeah.
And that's why you have the results, because of what Brian says you need to do. Because you've known, all right, I need, by this date, I want to be here. And these are my workouts. These are the carbs. These
So
are
how does the average person get that?
with the fucking app.
Just reverse it and keep track.
This is a selling pitch for Asana? No.
Man, we better get some shit out of this, man.
I
Because
mean, you can use Monday, you can use Asana, you can use your phone. It doesn't matter as long as you have something at the end of the day or something to reference yourself.
well, you have to have that shit inside of you too. That's disappointing when you don't check off that list.
Well, I think we were there the other day at the gym, and I was like, man, like, we just need to do something at this point, because I say in our 40s, Rob and I are in our 40s, that we have a good 20 years left to make as much money as humanly possible before,
What is that number?
for me, 222 million.
222 million. Say your lucky number.
Man, I was way off.
It's just something I projected. But anyways, that's the number I have in my head.
Good
He
old.
saw that. He saw that in the smoke.
Yeah,
So
man, like, I'm
that's the
just
thing.
with that number.
I've had it forever, dude. It's inevitable that I get to that point. I just
But
need
now
to
why-
figure
why
out
not
how the
just say
fuck I
more
get
What
there.
I'm saying
billion.
is, do you know how to get there?
I'm
I don't.
figuring out how to get there.
I don't. Not to that fucking number.
Draw it out.
Well, the thing is also everything that I'm doing now is structure based. So that structure is going into certain different things and aspects of my life. So business is also one of them. Like I found, I hate this idea of waking up at 5 in the fucking morning because I enjoy my sleep. How do you do it? But I found now that I'm only willing to do it at 5:45 a.m. Nothing lower than that.
Yeah.
I enjoy 5:45. 5 o'clock is just too much. How did you get to that point?
The satisfaction of knowing I'm the only one in my industry, or feeling like I'm the only one in my industry doing it, is more satisfying than sleep. I just feel so good that it's not free,
Yeah.
right? For
I
me,
believe him too because you ain't got no bags under your eyes.
Man.
Fucking got
I look
selfie
crazy
skin.
I'm close to 40, so.
He's, and you're waking up at
Yeah,
fucking
but see,
5 in the
in
morning.
2018, I was weighing like 165. I looked like I was 50. I looked like shit because everything around me, I didn't feel like I had control of it, right? And then, the pineapple got sweeter. So,
Per se.
everything started to Susan's place.
Another life hack is waking up at 5 in the morning because you got a good 6 hours before
I
people
get
are
my
even
rest, I get
awake.
my rest. There's really nothing that's worth business-wise worth staying up for. It has to be something worth it. Maybe
Absolutely.
like a new relationship. We're celebrating something. We're up till whatever in the morning, but there's no more social. For what? You
Yeah.
know me, I know you. There's nothing else to drink to. What are we talking about? We're not talking about something we're about to do. This is pointless.
One of the greatest things is nobody's awake at that time, so nobody's bothering, nobody's calling you, nobody's emailing, nobody's ringing your text messages. Like you have literally just nothing bothering
know
you.
what's gonna happen? Eventually, you two fuckers are gonna be the ones annoying everybody else who's asleep. 'Cause
Hey,
y'all
wake
are
up, man.
waking up at fucking 5 in
And
the
like by
morning.
11, 12, I'm like,
Yeah, me too. Fuck that. I go to sleep at 3
I
and
have
4
my
in the
days.
morning.
I have my days,
I'm
but
letting my thoughts just come to me and let my subconscious do the work.
While you sleep.
Well, I'm like, obviously I'm in between. Yeah. While I'm waking up. Between
Well,
like 6 and
I
between
run a
6
poker
and
room,
like
man.
7:30.
My day starts at 7, and I go to sleep at 3, 4 in the morning, and I wake up. I'm here by 9:30. So I get quality sleep in very, very small increments.
You only need about 7 hours. Seven
Oh, man,
good
yeah,
solid
I
hours.
get, whatever sleep I
That's why
get,
it drives me crazy.
I feel
when
like
my
it's
girl's
enough.
like on her Instagram and her videos, and I'm like trying to be in my thoughts. I'm like, I'm trying to manifest right now. Any loud noises. just
Dude, I
shake
feel like
through. I'm this
whenever
is not
people
helping.
talk about manifestation, they think they were some fucking wonky weirdos.
No, dude, everything
It's gonna
I've
get
got,
worse. They're gonna keep
everything
thinking
I've
that.
got has been through manifestation.
thoughts and
Real
words are
talk.
things.
Talk about that, dude, because it is a very true thing. And I think when I talk about that, like manifesting, when that word manifest, for sure,
Words become your
But I think
actions, and your actions manifest.
that
what you-
step is how people don't see it. They see, you just think about it, and it becomes.
No, dude. Whatever
That
you
is
think
the
about
number one superpower.
Eventually, will translate. Will spill out of your mouth, man. What you fixate in your mind on, you're going to eventually speak. And what you speak into the universe, if it's the right thing, the universe hears, and she's like, "All right, motherfucker, here. You want that? There you go."
So
you
if
have
I'm
to
looking at stuff to buy all day long, every single day, I'm
you're
just
going
gonna
to
end
buy
up
the
buying
shit.
stuff
Yeah, and you're gonna
all
get into
day
debt,
long.
and then that's the way the
Pretty
universe
much.
says, "Ha, I told you I was going to give you what you wanted. I didn't tell you you were going to like it." So you got to be careful and very clear with the universe with what it is that you want, because it'll give it to you, and
Yeah.
sometimes it'll bite you in the ass. So if you're clear and you have a path, like Brian's suggesting, I want 100 mil, I want an $8 million house, I want a beautiful wife. I just want to be humble. Whatever it is, if you have a plan and you walk towards it every day to get there, the universe will take notice of your steps and conspire with you to get you there.
All right, let's test out your theory, Brian. What was the craziest fucking thing you've ever manifested?
shit.
Keep it PG.
No, share with the world, my friend.
No, I think all my thoughts have become things.
So what's the
because
most bizarre one?
Like today,
Give us some examples on the way over here, man.
So I had my Christmas party, and I tell my business partner, I'm like, hey, what do I always hit when I go to Vegas?
Are you doing the
He's like,
PG PG-13 version?
He's like 000 in roulette. Like, all right. So I take $500 chip. I did this in front of everybody. And I put it down, and I have the mic. And they spin it, and it hits. And he's like, "Are you freaking kidding me?"
But you have luck. I want to hear a bizarre one. What's the craziest thing that you ever
well, that's
manifested?
not luck. That's manifestation.
Nah,
man.
dude, this guy has luck,
he
man.
says all day
it's a little
long.
bit of both.
Look
I mean,
at look at
you
that
can't-
smile, dude.
can't
Look at
man-
that.
you-
That's just like giving the world a wink. I'm lucky, motherfuckers.
I don't know. I think if anybody has a crazy story about manifestation, it's this guy.
Okay, then what's the craziest thing that you've ever manifested? Since Brian apparently does not want to tell us.
Spill it.
What's the craziest thing I manifested in my life? I manifested very brief success, man. Astronomical success. I manifested it. Somebody came and told me, Robert, there's an opportunity for us to buy a lease, drill a well that's never been drilled, and we can do this. All you have to do is raise $4 million.
Oh, it's the paperwork you have back there, right?
That's it. All you have to do is raise $4 million, man, in 6 months. While this conversation's happening, I'm on the phone with him.
It's not a bag of change.
I'm looking through my fucking cup holders in my car with my partner Glenn Dunn, and we're trying to get enough money to buy a burger to split because that's how fucking broke we are. And I tell the guy, yeah, bro, yeah, okay, we'll raise the money. All right, badass, bye. And 6 months later, we had fucking $4 million.
Wow.
Yeah, and there are doctors here and attorneys who invested. Everybody made money. The craziest thing that I have manifested and thought about hard enough and long enough, and with simply the spit in my fucking mouth as I spoke to people, was $4 million to drill that well. Yeah. And I don't have any skills. I never drilled a well before in my life.
You got the will.
I did.
Well, I didn't say you didn't have the skills,
well,
because you had the skills
to drill a well. I didn't have a skill set to. I wasn't even in the oil.
So
industry,
how did you
man.
put them together? Out of sheer desperation?
Dude, my wife was literally in her fucking stirrups at her OBGYN like annual pap smear, and I'm there with the package. And the doctor's there
to the doc.
examining and stuff.
the visual.
Dude, I'm real talk. This is real talk. And I'm like, hey, doc, when you're done with, all's good? Okay, cool. When you're done with that, I'd like for you to take a look at this investment package that I prepared.
Here's a proposal.
Real talk, man.
way.
3 days later, she's like, hey, I read up and everything, and I got a couple of friends I want you to pitch this to. And I did, and all of them took it to the same attorney, Norman Daniel Frank, may he rest in peace. That man changed my life. And he said no. So they came back and told me, no, our legal advisor told us that we shouldn't do this. I said, can I meet with him? And they were like, yeah, sure. I met with him. 5 days later, he wrote me a $500,000 check and told me, get going, boy. And told his clients that he basically retracted himself as their legal counsel because he felt that it was unethical that he had told them not to do it, and he went and did it. Well, they all wound up doing it. Yeah, man, the neighbors are into some kinky shit. That's a drill. No, they're drilling. But yeah, man, I manifested that venture. You know, I manifested that money. I didn't have any leverage. I didn't have any collateral. I didn't have anything.
How'd you even get into the food truck industry anyway? Like, how did that? It was like, I'm gonna open
just
a
from
food
doing
truck.
concert productions. I mean, you would bring down artists, and then you wanted to obviously treat them with like the best hospitality, right? I wasn't gonna own a hotel. The closest thing was restaurants, right? Because that's the one thing, you know, they love that stuff.
I can cook out of this trailer.
No, I wanted a restaurant. I couldn't afford one. So
It's the next best option.
the island had just passed the food truck ordinance, and the health director was the one that said, why don't you put this brand in a food truck? And the rest is history. I mean, we fed Elon Musk, fed Joe Rogan.
Nice.
It's like nowhere I feel that our food can't get us the door through, or our foot in the door through.
So how did that whole SpaceX thing happen?
Because of F1. So we ran into some people at Formula One 2019, got booked for some caterings as soon as we got back home. And then when the pandemic hit, they said, well, can you guys do breakfast, lunch, and dinner? I said, yeah, for sure. Why not, right? Mm-hmm. Just like you said, didn't know what the hell we were doing, but I'll do it. We'll figure it out. They're already committed. What's the worst that can happen? It sucks, but at least you know, can't get that bad. You know what I'm saying? It was the best thing that could have happened. And then from there, we just earned their trust, got some great business from there, and put me in a position to just invest in other brands that, you know, weren't on the positive end. And it's like hard work is subjective, because you can be the best chef in the world, but if you don't know how to get a health permit, are you working hard, or are you just stressed at the vocabulary?
Right.
But you'll go tell everybody it's the hardest thing in the world. It's not hard work. So delegating the things that I know what I'm very good at, right? So I go and I find people that are exceptional cooks, but they just might lack some funding or some direction to kind of get their foot in any door, right? Put together a business package, business proposition, tell them to really sleep on it, you know, because you've been failing for 5 years, you don't have to make a decision in 5 days. You know what I'm saying? Take your time, really, like you said, visualize where
the
did
future.
you want to be. If this was to be good, how would you push it?
Yeah.
We haven't made, imagine you were making X dollars a day, imagine this was real. What would you do, right? And that's kind of like my buddy who owns the Chick-fil-A in Sherry. You know, a lot of the market research that Chick-fil-A puts into like character recognition, in a sense of when you're talking to people, kind of what sense of person they are. I put
The
that
vibe, yeah.
yeah, right. I apply it to this, and I know how to ask certain types of questions to really see how they put a response together, right? And from there, you know, I feel like I made the best assessment that I could, and it makes me feel good whether I'm right or wrong, instead of like okay, esto, right?
So you're a collector of skills, you would say, and then you put them all together.
At the end of the day, someone won't fail.
I think most business owners are.
They have to be.
Yeah, by now. I mean, I have the vision now where I want my branding or my influence on trucks to go, and it's required me delegating, putting where I didn't think I could own more than one truck. Now I got to help this guy run 10, and then want to own and lease 10 more, right? I got to make them beyond what they thought they could get to.
So what's the end goal?
I think it's just being a part of people's story at the island. You know what I'm saying? Like the first thing people talk about is like, you know, you talk about gambling in Vegas. But what's that one casino that gives you that hospitality, that da-da-da? Like at the island, like, well, I ate this food out of a food. I've heard people say it in different ways.
That's a good fucking answer.
You see what I'm saying?
That was a good fucking answer.
So that's an always
Synonymous
evolving.
with the island is like.
Yeah.
That's an always evolving thing too, because once you become that one thing, then they're going to try something else in the future. And I think that's one of the things where you try to put yourself out of business before somebody else tries to put you out of business. That way you always stay in the game.
That's the thing. We own most of our own competition in the sense of food trucks. The Crab Box, Moto Ramen, Taco Geeks, Gallo Negro. The best brands, they're working with us or through us. So it's like I would talk about it when I was a kid. I was like, imagine if the guy that owns McDonald's owns Burger King. And it's just the biggest play ever. And we're here thinking that's beef.
You mean like Peter Piper owns Chuck E. Cheese?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Stuff like that. So here, I'm not saying somebody won't pop up doing something better. I help people get their permits. So I welcome competition, right? At the end of the day, I know the time I put in. It's not something that you can't just walk onto the platforms that we've been through. Doesn't matter how charming you are. You
just reminded me of something. The crab mentality of the Rio Grande Valley. I think that happens everywhere.
Yeah, but I mean, if we know about it, then you should be smart enough to not let it affect you. I mean,
you would think that people would be smart enough to be like, all right, well, I'm going to get my own. There's enough out there for everybody.
Yeah, and it's kind of like me, the positive reinforcement. I have these little strings on my wrist right here that remind me to stay away from those stupid moments because there's an abundance of people.
Oh, do you flick them?
No, I just look at them and then I just change.
You should do that, right? It was a tool.
Nah, I just changed my mind. I just changed the thought. Next page, right? Because I mean.
So go through that one more time. You have those things on your wrist for what?
Just to change the mind, change the thought.
So as soon as you see them,
As soon as it's something that's negative, like, oh, well, hey, man, they said something. He said. If it starts with a he said, I'm already like, his opinion ain't gonna.
So you gave power to an inanimate object to get that out of your head.
It doesn't. It's not giving power. It's using it as an anchor.
Just a reinforcement.
Anchor.
You know, eventually they'll probably fall off, and I'll find something else. But it's just what's helped me because I think everybody's capable. It's just about what type of reinforcement you have over and over and over. And for me, like, I try not to hang out with the pity parties and stuff like that. I want people who are excited about getting their ass beat because they learn one new way not to lose. Mm-hmm. You know, that's the way. That's the game. It's
the process.
Yeah, like I judge an entrepreneur by how much money they've lost. You're only as good as your biggest loss. I've never gotten chin checked. How the fuck do you know you can take a hit? I fucked up in so many different fucking ways, and I'm proud of it because it's on the resume. But then look what it equals to now. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it is what it is. You ain't shit.
Yeah.
You know,
At the end of the day,
where's it at? I mean, we're all trying until, and unfortunately, a lot of the things that I had, the same passion I work with this too. It just didn't work. Yeah. And it wasn't me. It was just I was not prepared in certain aspects where, like we say, you're talented, but are you working hard or are you just not? You don't have a team. Right. So right now there's so much out there to kind of, like, I take the business plan from Cousins Made Lobster, right? I was looking at the key players locally, internationally, nationally. Salt Bay, all these guys, and I'm like, okay, let's see what we can find online about their procedures. And then started finding phone numbers. I'm like, oh crap, these guys live locally.
Jerry, you're thinking too big. How did you get like that?
I would just see a lot of MTV Cribs.
There's no such thing as too big.
Well, the thing is there is, because the people always label.
Said you wanted to make $222 million.
Yeah, no, I don't think like that. I think big. I think big like a motherfucker. I was just saying.
What I see in this room, though, I see, you know, you guys have full faith in yourself. You're willing to take chances, right, and put yourself and your ego and your name on the line because you have full faith in yourself to make those to accomplish it. And you're willing to take those chances because it gets you closer to what you want in life.
Mm-hmm. There was a moment in my life where I learned that nobody's fucking coming to help me. That's when it changed. So I had to figure it out.
Sick.
That's what a wife's for.
If you get sick, like if you have a fever, who's gonna give you shit?
Yeah, no, I disagree. I think there's always somebody's gonna come home.
No, absolutely. Yes. There's a lot of influential people, but when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, that you're alone in your thoughts, when you're sitting in your bed, you wake up earlier than everybody else, you are in your own mind. That is the thing that you struggle with the most, because you are with yourself 24/7, 365 days a year. So you better be right.
Yeah, my mind's filthy. So. I try not to spend too much time in there.
I'm like a mouse. My ideas are like mouse and wheel. They just never stop.
Yeah, no.
I just have to be focused and choose what I want to do.
It
So
works.
do I. Yeah, no, there's a.
Yeah, but I think every entrepreneur juggles stuff that they're always interested
There's
in.
100
Chainsaws.
voices in my head.
Chainsaws.
Yeah, chainsaws. And I need to self-medicate
I was like, can
too.
someone make an animation of that?
It's crazy.
Yeah, but it's an interesting world, dude, because I've talked about Bronco 956, man. One of my clients wants to get him on his social media. I was like, yeah, let's do it, because I've seen a double engagement happen when people bring in Bronco 956 onto their social media. Double engagement happens,
more.
double views, yeah
for sure.
Easily, and then it drops off right back. So he's making some bank. What do y'all think about that, dude? Because Bronco 956 showed up, and now Juani Depp's the pulga.
Hype equals dollar signs.
Yeah,
It's
I
hype.
guess.
That's
It's whatever it is.
I mean,
Money's
Drake
in
was-
the masses.
There's a lot of people hating on
like
that
that.
guy. What do y'all think about it? You think it's the stupidest
it's
thing
just
ever?
people who ain't doing better. You know, like, I mean, there's fake Drake, and we see it on Facebook and we share it. But now we have one locally. Like, everybody's local somewhere.
Yeah.
It's just that
for
crap
him.
thing. You know what I'm saying? I think it's amazing.
Yeah, I think it's
I'd be
amazing.
doing the same damn thing
Good
too.
for him.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and I'd be doing it twice at night. You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
baffled at
I just hope he's a good guy.
It
You know?
fucking took off.
That's the thing, dude.
I hope he's a good guy. I hope he's a good guy. Yeah, I mean, we see a lot of the show and stuff, but I hope that, you know, that he's just as excited as I feel for him, and he's, you know, handling it the right way, putting a little money aside. I hope he's got a family that is just as supportive and all that, but I mean, and that understands that it's just a show.
Yeah.
But it is, at the end of the day, he's the only one that can convince himself that it's who he is, and it might not be a good thing, but all in due time we'll find out.
There are only 3 ways to build a huge personal brand, and it is education, information, and entertainment, or a mixture of any of the 3, 2, whatever.
Yes, sir.
That's the only way. This guy got it cornered with
Entertainment.
entertainment.
We're in food entertainment. That's what it is. I mean, we sell pineapples at a beach, bro. I know what I am.
Yeah.
So it's
Dude, you're doing it in the right way. though,
And, but
man.
the thing is, you know, like, it's not just what people would say a tourist trap. We give you great customer service. I eat at my own spot, so the food's damn good. You know, it's not like a Buc-ee's, not Buc-ee's.
Damn, you let that fly, bro.
Those damn sandwiches are like to die for.
Buc-ee's is fantastic. I think the merch is awesome. I hope to one day have a food park outside of a Buc-ee's.
Dude,
However, and I think they would appreciate this criticism. It's very constructive. I've eaten a plenty full of barbecue
Those Rice
sandwiches.
Krispie bars.
Their freaking sandwiches taste like sloppy joes from school. Their chopped brisket is the worst.
Cafeteria.
It tastes like straight up. It took me back. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it surprised me because people were hyping it up. And I
People
was
still
thinking I was
think
gonna
Bill
get-
Miller's is good brisket. I don't think they've ever
yeah,
had
that's-
Central style
that's
brisket from
crazy.
these guys that cook out here, man.
Wild. Yeah, but I mean, heck, I want to be that bad and that good.
Yeah.
Right. But I don't. Those are the things that I mean, look how stacked a Chick-fil-A is. You don't know about the quality because you're just so consumed with the service.
Yeah.
Zoom fast.
Well, we just became on the
So
top
you're
10
good.
list, right? Number
Yeah,
9 for
number
having
9.
the most fast food restaurants
in
in McAllen. Interesting.
Good food.
Yeah, I
good
mean,
food here.
well, that's all restaurants, right?
Yeah.
That's a terrible stat because we're
Fast
like
food?
up against the San Francisco. Yeah, and see, people take care of their cars more than they do themselves. That's why there's more
Their
car
health.
washes and Orange Theories and gyms. You go to Austin, there's a fit club at every corner. Every plaza has some sort of yoga, Pilates, backflips, ninjas, whatever they're trying to do.
But I know why, Jared, because fucking working out sucks, dude. It hurts. It's painful. You
Eating's
gotta.
fun.
What's
Yeah, your words
being
are
a good
things,
businessman
man.
sucks too. It's like you gotta, you know, it's
Pick
gotta
your
suck
poison,
first.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think like for me, it's always been a lifestyle thing. It was never something like, well, day one,
Right.
I'll take some time off. But for me, it was like, especially in my industry, look at other food truckers. I mean, my words ain't gonna change the way they take care of themselves or don't. But
Right.
historically, they're not people who are accountable when it comes to nutrition and stuff like that, because I mean, a long list of excuses, the hours. I said, well, then change your eating, I mean, your fasting or stuff. Like, there's ways 20
There's life
excuses for
hacks.
every solution. You want it
Yeah.
bad enough, you can figure it out.
So give me 3 life hacks that you would implement right now for somebody that's struggling.
Life hacks: patience,
But
kindness.
patience is one of those things that you tell people, like, you got to be patient. When? When is in the
That's
next
the
year?
same thing. Like hard work is subjective. If you got to say it for how you feel it is, and if that person's gonna take it, you can't change how they're gonna take the
I
thing.
have zero patience.
I went to school in La Jolla. They graduated 1,200 people. We didn't all learn the same things.
I
Right.
dropped out of La Jolla.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't mean anything, right? I mean, I think me getting through formal schooling helped me kind of put up with things I didn't like to do in a timely fashion, right? So it's not a waste of time.
Right.
That's what I tell
You
kids.
learn something.
Yeah, I mean, you can't tell someone they wasted their time 4 years after they already finished school.
Right.
You can't go back in time.
Yeah.
You know, it's just what I think we can promote is awareness. When you're out there, have more purpose when you're going to class. Maybe it's not for you, but try to think this way. Whereas no one was telling us that. To us, it was just finished. The straight word type of thing. Get your classes done, get your shit done, and get the fuck out, right?
Yeah.
But now it's kind of like we can take masterclass in 4 or 5 hours and learn how to program a computer, how to start up not a food.
Do
truck,
you
right?
know how you learn? It took me 35 years to learn that I was a visual learner, that I learned better with words coming into my ears from audiobooks, podcasts. Do you know how you learn?
No.
See, it's a very interesting thing to know how you learn.
Yeah, I never
there's
saw-
You're what you are is you're hands
Visual,
on.
audio.
You have to
Well, you
touch
can watch
things
someone do it.
for you to
Do
learn.
it yourself.
I can't do it over a
You
phone
read
call.
it.
Right.
YouTube
or
me.
You listen to someone basically.
How do you learn, Brian?
I'm a visual person.
You see it once and you're good. Yeah.
I
Or
can't
see it.
Don't you have a
see it
photographic
once and I
memory?
keep trying till I'm good.
Is that just the myth of Brian that I've heard, that you have a photographic memory?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a myth or yeah,
Call
it's
me the
true.
human jukebox. I remember almost every song ever recorded.
Prove it.
No.
Give him one. Give him a song. Biggie, what? Something. Come on, Brian.
I'm good.
Wait a minute.
It's kind of like I kind of have to hear the music because I think it's more.
Luckily, I got it. YouTube right here, my friend. Karaoke time.
And like you can like sing it, or you just know who the artist is and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, knowing the artist isn't really my greatest strength. It's more just the music.
So give me a song that you would sing karaoke.
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't. Yeah.
You would never sing karaoke?
Maybe at my house. Might have done
Don't put it on the spot.
See, people, I'm trying to get him to do something out here, man. Come on.
He's serious thing. I'm good. I'm over here like shivering cold.
Yeah, it's fucking yeah. If everybody's wondering why I
It's
got
like,
my
let's do
scarf on.
karaoke today. Let's go.
It'll warm us up with some chuckles.
Dun, dun, dun.
So going back to business, you have a product-based business.
Service.
Service. Yeah.
So-
And I have a product.
So I want to touch on
But
the
it's still a
products.
service because I'm serving people.
Okay, so what is that model? Like, what would you say that model is called?
I mean, it's just a service-based business. I mean, I own.
So you provide the products through like a subscription?
No. So, I mean, I offer a service. So roofing is a service.
But you also have budget,
Roofing supply.
right? So the
Right.
supply is the product side.
Right.
That's what I'm
we're still
interested in.
delivering, but we're still delivering. It's still a service. I mean, it's a wholesale business because we're delivering to other roofers, but I mean, we're delivering to the houses for them. So
I got you.
It's still product based, but you're still delivering a service to them.
So Rob and I are jumping into the product business, and we want to get some advice. Online, e-commerce, yeah.
E-commerce.
And also,
So e-commerce is a different game.
also store to store, because we now have a butter that we are pushing out that is getting into people's mouths already. We have our viral content ready to go, so we already have. I'll show you all in a while. See what you think.
Please don't.
But third-party logistics is one of the most profitable businesses because if you don't have to carry inventory and they can just go on and order and someone else drop ships it, that's third-party logistics. That's what Amazon is.
Right.
All these people, they list all their products. Someone comes on, they buy it.
What I'm interested
and
in
they just ship
actually.
it and you make your profit. That's a beautiful business model because that actually drives itself. You don't have to do anything. They make their order, it goes to them, they deliver it.
The
and
delivery
it's done.
system.
But then the thing fails if you don't get the delivered by that warehouse. So you have the actual warehouse where you store your products. That's what I'm interested in. Is
Yeah.
how do we get to that point? So like, say we
I want to
now.
get to that point.
Why?
Because you never want to carry inventory.
Yeah, because then
it's money.
Yeah, it's
I have
tied up money.
Say I have $1 million in a warehouse. It's tied up money. If I don't sell it,
sitting there.
it's just sitting there.
not
Where
gaining
you don't have
interest,
any
it's not-
inventory, You don't have $1 million, sitting in an account that
You can keep them in the bank
you can keep it in the bank.
or use it to fuel. Yeah.
Okay,
You
so
need to have that to distribute.
so for a product-based business, to say it's in a perishable food, how would you approach that?
How would
So would you get somebody that's gonna make
He's like, I
your
wouldn't. That's why I
perishable
don't fuck with
food?
that.
I wouldn't.
So you get somebody that makes your perishable
Because
food, you
ACP
pay them.
already has it. You just order online and they go shopping.
They go
for
get
They
it.
show up to their house.
Brad, I'm trying to pick your brain here.
I know what you're trying to do.
I'm trying to get free business advice for
Yeah, no.
myself and everybody else here, guys.
I just, I prefer businesses that the transaction is high as possible, because if you're selling things for $10, you're making dollars. If you're selling things for hundreds of dollars, you're making tens of dollars. If you're selling things for thousands, you're making 100, tens of thousands, 100,000, 10,000, millions, you're making hundreds of thousands a year. If you're doing tens of millions, you're making millions of dollars a year. That's how it works.
Bigger deals.
If you want to sell $5 lemonades, it's going to take you 18,000 years to hit $1 billion. If I want to sell roofs and I do it in 50 states and I want to do 3 sales a day in 50 states, I'm going to hit $1 billion in 1 year. Get me? So you want your transaction cost to be as high as possible, because there's margin that you can hide.
How do you combat the whole thing where America's the minimum wage, all that stuff is going down now? People don't have enough money to spend. My thing is
Is it
always,
going down?
I don't know, but I'm saying
I think it's going up.
I don't think people are spending as much, but I know that they are buying stuff because money's going out every single day.
So they're not spending as much, but they're buying stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. I
I think his customer's not an overnight guy. They kind of already had it in their
So,
mind for a while, and then
Here's how you combat, people slowing down or your business slowing down. It's a math equation, right? So if your market only has so much market share, you can only get so much market share out of your market, right? Either increase your advertising to gain more market share over your current market, or you increase your territory because there is more market in those territory in the same percentage, typically in the territory that you're currently in. So you have to expand your territory and where you service. So now if I have, say, 20% less phone calls, guess what I have to do? I have to expand my market share, like my marketplace where I'm servicing that additional amount. So say now I'm doing Laredo, Corpus, Houston.
What are
San
your
Antonio,
test
Austin,
sizes
where I
of?
wasn't doing Houston before, but now I have to expand it because there's less work happening. And so if you have less calls, you have to increase your market share by increasing your location, your region and where you're servicing.
Interesting. And you are the one that goes to get those sales, or
No.
pushes the region.
I push the region. So I mean, my goal is, as the entrepreneur, the business owner, is to foresee that happening and to make sure that I implement those procedures and everything that needs to happen to make it happen.
So there is a direct correlation, like the employee, you changed a role, then you went to management, now you're in the region. Like you are now
We
building
would
it.
hire locally. Yeah, we hire locally, and we
You go and
right
close
now-
the sales and then hire the
we're
subs.
We're
in.
searching for workers, outside of our normal region right now.
Yeah.
And I think in any entrepreneur or any business, it comes down to sales. And that's why I'm so bullish on it. How did you get so good at sales? Just by talking to people, knowing
He's
the
a
business,
good-looking
doing it for
guy.
so long.
This shit comes
Big
easy
old
for him.
smile.
No,
Look
I
at the
was
smile.
actually-
Smile.
Luck.
That's how the fuck he got the sales.
No, I mean, I was quiet. I was an artist. I sat in my room. I actually was kind of shy when I was growing up, but I took a job as a door knocker, and I door knocked for 2.5 years. And I think it's kind of become personable. You have to. You're talking to people, getting doors slammed in your face. It humbles you pretty quick.
And he has a jawline.
There you go.
Whatever. Yeah, to hide the fact that I have a fucking 2 or 3 chins under
Oh, look at
here.
your scarf. That's what it's for.
Thank you.
Yeah, you look good.
No,
Yeah, so-
bro, you're killing it, bro. You have been for years, and I'm happy to call you friend, brother, because it's you do shit right, and that's a good thing. I need more people like you around me.
You try. We got to push each other.
Yeah, real talk.
You're not on your own, bro.
Not
Not on your own. Maybe
nobody's.
in your head in the morning, but
We are on the grind
I've
every
known
single
Brian for
day.
years. I just only met you today, but I'm glad that we did get a chance to talk and
This guy's
everything.
awesome.
Because, bro, for real, we got
Yeah.
to talk for about an hour before, because Brian was, as always, fashionably late.
Yeah.
So we didn't.
You were
get the
right, like
podcast.
101.
actually, I was 2 minutes early.
Boom.
fuck?
Yeah.
So you lied to
I
me.
know.
You
I
got me
texted
here
him
early.
I texted him early.
'Cause
Yeah,
if not,
I
I would've
always
been
do, man.
He
I was like,
texted me 6 minutes before, and I was 4 minutes away.
yeah, that's
And
right.
then he said, "Where are you?" And I shared my location and a screenshot of.
That's all
4
I
minutes. And then
Wow.
boop,
And
comes
that's
in the
all
door.
attributed to the sauna. Yeah.
Go buy it today.
No, man, it's been cool hanging out with you two because
Yes.
real inspiration. Both of you guys, man, have amazing stories, amazing backgrounds, very different methods on how you guys are doing things. But it proves to me that what you guys do share is the drive and the ethic.
Yeah.
You know, the work ethics and the drive. You know, and that shit to me tells me that. And now I know exactly what I'm lacking. The drive.
I don't think you lack it.
No, I'm just messing with you, man. I think we're all excelling in our realms and in our respective areas. And I'm proud to say that I see a little bit of you and you and me in all of us
Yeah.
and things. And I think that's why kind of we resonate and feed off of each other well.
Yep, I agree. Well, we'll see you guys in the
guys.
next sesh. Peace.
Super cool, man.
Boom. Got it.
Conquista, what you doing, brother?